Hello everyone. Just some delay, I present my spoiler review of Godzilla vs. Kong, so let's open it up. We open on Skull Island where we join Kong. In the years since the events of his standalone film, he's become the largest version of Kong. The character's long cinematic history. However, the flip side of the coin is that Skull Island can no longer sustain him. All the natives he protected have largely died off, save for one. A deaf little girl named Gia, played by Kaylee Hoddle. Gia has something of a kinship with Kong. Just imagine if the ape Coco was a giant titan, and you've got it. The island and Kong is watched over by Eileen Andrews, played by Becca Hall, and Nathan Lind, played by Alexander Skarsgård. And what to say about them over the course of this review? Back on the mainland, following an intense and pretty impressive opening action scene on Apex Cybernex in Florida, the public has already turned against Godzilla for what he's done in the previous films, and the beast himself has become the properly destroying grouch he's been depicted as films such as Godzilla Raids Again and Godzilla 1985. Let's get the payoff for the sting in the last movie, though Charles dancing around to see it. This little cartoon supervillain has been filled by Apex head Walter Simmons, played by Damian Bashir, and his daughter Maya, played by Isa Gonzalez. On top of the return of Maddie, played by Millie Bobby Brown, and her father Mark, played by Kyle Chandler, have new characters in the fray: Josh, played by Julian Dennison, and former Apex employee turned Kaiju Conspiracy Theory podcaster Bernie, played by Brian Tyree Henry. He also lost his wife in the events of previous films and has a keepsake bottle of liquor he got from her. So P, importantly, you've heard of Chekhov's gun, not going to Chekhov's liquor bottle. Anyway, one of the major sources of conflict in this area of Hollow Earth, the sub-Hollow Universe, and Lost World, and Simply Earth. Put them in the proper context, it's basically this continuity version of Monster Island. Zerasaurus' son Ren, played by Shunoguri, started working on something big with one of Ghidorah's heads that was in the last movie. Yeah. As Apex is trying to develop transports that can get into Hollow Earth without turning passengers to catch up, Kong is also being used to find a way to Hollow Earth. They've also established how territorial the two titans are, which makes a solid foundation for the conflict. Also, even after nearly 90 years, still trying to use chains that won't hold Kong at all. Likewise, the Maya is Apex's chief scientist. She keeps calling Kong a monkey when he's clearly an ape. It doesn't take a zoologist to tell the difference. Just around the 39-minute mark, we get our first engagement with Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla tears through most of the backup ships and jets like tissue paper, tips with the aircraft carrier holding Kong to fight him underwater. Not taking this line down, Kong breaks through his chains, takes a fight to separate aircraft carrier. I haven't seen every film he's made, and Wingard does have potential as an action director. Kong narrowly escapes with the help of said death charges, but Godzilla is easily one of the first keys everyone powers down the ship to hide their presence and plan the next move. This actually makes sense, as Godzilla has already been established to have the ability to fire the Child EMP burst in previous movies. Back on the mainland, Bernie, Josh, and Maddie investigate Apex in Florida. A series of shenanigans. All three end up getting shipped to the main HQ, which happens to be in Hong Kong. No points for guessing which emerging box office market is also there. In order to travel all Hollow Earth, Apex developed a kind of transport known as the Hollow Earth Aero Vehicle, or HEAV for short. One way in has been found in Antarctica and tried getting in by using Kong as their alpha. Well, so what was than Ghidorah reaching this place in the last movie? With encouragement from Gia, Kong leads the way to Hollow Earth, and the HEAV units follow him in. It's a very trippy sequence in both theaters and watching my displays here. I can only wonder what this will look like in IMAX. No matter whatever mode, Kong established himself as the author of Hollow Earth, making short of some other monsters as everyone else arrives at Apex headquarters in Hong Kong. While Brandon thinks they're building shelter for when everything goes down the tubes, something else has been cooked up. Mega Godzilla. The rumors were true, folks. This mecha is completely badass, even in this test. It's designed a great job updating the mecha new generation, also on what came before. Turns out Wingard was influenced by his disappointment in live-action Transformers movies, pre-Bumblebee of course, to put it like this. I was way more excited for this than the live-action Gunner of Voltron. The real Godzilla catches wind of this new challenge and heads towards Hong Kong, much to Walter's delight. Kong also returns to Susan Hollow Earth, taking a very powerful axe with him as a weapon. In Hong Kong, Maddie, Bernie, and Josh continue searching through Apex's HQ, and they find Ghidorah having the last movie. I must say, this payoff for Kevin is something else. I'll tell you more of the remainder of this movie. Godzilla reaches the waterfront of Hong Kong to the station next to King Kong. Nathan and Eileen make it back to the surface, and even though I wasn't sure what to think of Former's character initially, he grew on me over the course of the film. When Skarsgård on a mission, he based his character on heroes like Indiana Jones, John McClane, and the original Die Hard. Able to be certain, but at the core, just an ordinary person that happens to be thrown into an extraordinary situation. Maya doesn't make it back to the surface, as she's one of the teams claimed by Colin's new weapon. This is highly satisfying to me, especially as Colin looks Maya in the eyes to say, I'm not a monkey, I'm an ape. Back at Apex, Maddie, Josh, and Bernie have been found out as Mechagodzilla is fully operational. Colin has breached the surface, and the second heat on the remainder movie takes place in Hong Kong. Though Godzilla puts up a good fight, Colin fares much better on land than in water, especially with his new axe. To quote Nathan, as he and Eileen breach back to the surface, looks like round two goes to Kong. Walter may be just shy of a top hat and black cape to complement his mustache twirling. I think they don't have to deal with this camp much longer as Godzilla recovers. Godzilla views his Wikidora's head, and I must say, Walter's death in this scene is immensely satisfying. Likewise, Mechagodzilla here is just incredible, go across between the original design and Terminator skeleton. The red variation on the top breath is a nice touch. Colin's incapacitated and need to deflect with him with a heave. The several fatal attempts over the program. We get the payoff for Bernie's keepsake whiskey bottle and one last drink. Whiskey shorts out the motherboard, frying the uplink for Mechagodzilla. Now, the two Titans unite against a new enemy to save the day. Why the Pacific Rim franchise can never be this epic to me is still elusive. With Mechagodzilla defeated, we close on Maddie reuniting with her father, Godzilla turning the ESC, and Kong becoming the alpha of his new home in Hollow Earth. While I don't consider the 1962 version to be canon this time around, I'd say the real winner of this battle is audiences. The cinematic landscape will likely be very different over the coming decade. Success of this film definitely proves that there is a market for more than one kind of consumption of content once all options are available. Likewise, film success is a testament to the legacy of these characters, very much open to the idea of seeing this franchise continue. My top choices for Titans in a future film are obviously Megalon and Gigan. They're not quite the same pop culture impact or financial success in the MCU or the DCEU for that matter. There's definitely an audience to continue the MonsterVerse. My next spoiler review is on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Don't miss it.